Hello children, how are you all? See, in the last class we understood the chapter friction of class CBSE 8. In this class we'll try to understand another chapter of CBSE, that is what chemical effects of electric current. Yes children, this chapter we'll try to understand today what is chemical effects of electric current. In the last class, that means you are in the 7th standard, you understood what is electric current, right children? What is the electric current? So you know very well, suppose if there is any cross-sectional area of a conductor, how many number of electrons will pass through this in a unit cross-sectional area? That is what we call electrical. That means charge by time, per unit time how many number of charges will pass. That is what the current. Okay, our simple words what we call the flow of electrons. Okay, the flow of electrons in a conductor, that is what the electric current. So here we call as number of charges per time, how many they will go, that is what the current. Clear children what is electric current? And here to test whether in a conductor current is moving, this will be a conductor or a non-conductor, you require testers, right? To whether check whether it is a conductor or non-conductor, definitely you require a tester. So you whom you just observe like this testers, the persons who are using the electrician, they'll use this kind of testers. That means when they keep this one into the socket, some holes of the socket, if this bulb, what is small LED bulb inside, it will glow, that shows that this is a current is moving in the circuit. If it is not moving, they decide the current is not moving in the circuit. So like that, this is a tester directly. And how you going to make your own tester? So I think this is also you done in the last 7th class. So what we were required for this is a battery. That means battery means it's a combination of two or more cells or one cell only. We directly connected cell with some insulating wires. So wires you can see, no, we have two wires and the wire is connected to bulb. Okay, some kind of bulb. So that bulb we need to go glow when these two are connected. When these two are closed, imagine like this path. What happened? The bulb will glow. Right, children? When the bulb will glow, when these two are going to just a closed circuit, so definitely the closed circuit is required to flow the current. If the circuit is open somewhere, okay, imagine if the circuit is open somewhere, what happened? The current is not move. Okay, I hope this is clear. What is electric current and how we are going to test the whether current is moving or not moving in a circuit by using a tester. This is what a tester, and how you can create your own tester. So how own tester we can make? Just a minute, children. So you can make your own tester by the help of cell, battery, bulb and the wires. So what you require to make this, two wires are required. These are the wires at the ends. You know wires means, and it is made up of bulb and the cell. Yeah. So you can make your own tester, and in the gap we provided a gap. You see in the gap we going to fill nail. If you fill iron nail, what happen? The bulb going to glow. That shows that the nail, iron nail, what we use, that is a conductor. Suppose instead of nail, you're going to use one eraser. That is any some made up of rubber we going to use. That time bulb not glow. Okay, bulb does not glow. That means that it is an insulator. So like that, we going to create your own tester by using the simple appliances, which are that one is cell or battery required, or cell holder, and the wire. Some wires are required, and the bulb holder and bulb is required, and the some connecting wires. And here whichever instrument we need to test whether it is a conductor and insulator, we are going to connect in between the two terminals of the earth, and we are going to test whether the conductor they are conducting or not conducting. I hope this is clear, children. Okay. See, many times the conducting solutions or conducting objects are not so high power. They are very poor conductors. In case of poor conductors, the bulb, whatever using 5-volt bulb, it is not sufficient because they will pass the current with very, very less current, 1.5 volt or 0.7 volt. Like that current, the bulb does not glow. That means they are not insulators, but they are poor conductors. So, in case of poor conductors, we need to test That time instead of bulb, you replace with the LED. Okay, LED is made up of semi-conducting materials. They will require very, very less amount of energy to glow. Okay, that is why you can see very less energy, some indicators, some charges, and all, they're going to use the LED bulbs. That means they will consume very, very less energy. So it is less than 1 volt of energy they're going to consume. In that they're going to glow. So that is nothing but similarly, everything is same. Only thing here we're going to use the LED bulbs instead of a bulb. So it will going to glow or not glow. So we're going to decide. Clear, children? Very small currents we're going to measure. That time we're going to use the LED bulbs. What is LED? Light emitting diodes. The abbreviation of LED is light emitting diodes. Okay, that means they will emit very, very less energies. If it is a more energy, we can test using the normal bulb, small bulbs. If it is a less power, we are going to use the LED bulbs. Okay, please try to remember that. Yeah. Even it is very, very smaller currents. One more method is to find whether it is conducting or not conducting is using magnetic compass. Magnetic compass method. What is this magnetic compass? You can see inside the box, it will containing small round shaped body. In the round shaped body, it is like some small cap like that thing, and they connected one not so pole magnet, very small magnetic needle. Very small magnetic needle. If any magnetic field is moving like this, that time this magnetic north-south compass, no, it indicates north and south pins. So they will going to point it towards it. So you can see observe here, north pole, south pole, and this is a magnetic needle. Okay, this magnetic needle they can easily rotate. It can provide it with some needle so that it can easily rotate around. When which direction magnetic field is moving, in that direction the needle of the magnet going to deflect. And here where magnetic field is coming, we are not kept any magnets, right? We are not kept any bar magnet, south magnet, not kept. But even though magnetic needle will go show reflection, how? Okay, that is interesting topic. That is when in any conducting wires. Okay, imagine like some current wire, any conducting wires. If a current is moving in this direction, so around that magnetic field will going to produce. So why it is produced? So you know the speed of electron, how much speed they are moving? They are moving at very high speed. Because of that high speed, if any person is moving at high speed, imagine a train is moving at a high speed. What happens? Whatever the air particle inside it, they will also try to be aligned in the same direction. They'll rush into it. That is nothing but the magnetic field. Okay, alignment of the particles will be happening around the conducting wire. If a high current is moving inside the conductor, around that magnetic field will be produced. This is proved by Astwords. Okay, Astwords scientists they proved. So that means when you pass electricity, suppose this is a positive terminal and this is negative, right? So this connected like this, current will be going like this. Okay, from positive terminal to negative terminal, current will come back. When current is okay, imagine this is a closed circuit. Here we are going to put what we are going to test, you know, that object we are going to put here in between the gap. When current is moving in this direction, here see the coil, the wire is circulating around the magnet, circulating around one box. Suppose a match box open, inside a match box they taken, and here they kept the compass, and around that just they circulated the coil, that is the wire. So when electricity is passing, what happened around this wire? Imagine this is a wire. Around that wire, magnetic field will going to produce. Because of that magnetic field, this needle inside the compass that will show deflection. Okay, that needle will show deflection. Clear, children? Why it will show deflection? A current carrying conductor produces magnetic field around it. Because of that magnetic field, this needle will go to show the deflection. Okay, the needle will show deflection, right? That indicates if it current is moving or not in the circuit. So now there's two free ends are there. Now in this two free ends, suppose you will put one iron nail. That time it will show deflection. Means this iron nail will the conductor. Suppose you put now eraser something, that shows this is not a conductive. Deflection is not showing, right? Because if you put eraser, it is a made up of rubber, it is not conducting. So current is not complete circuit. So that time current does not flow, it is an insulator. Like that, this two free ends we are going to insert into any some liquids also. So we want to test the liquids, we are going to put to immerse these two free ends into the liquids, and now it will current will move. This liquid is a conductor. If it current deflection not shown, then that liquid is a non-conductor. Okay, like that, not only for the solids, even the liquids also having a conductors and insulators, but not much as the solids, but they are poor conductors. Okay, liquids also having conduction. Why? Because they are having a salt in it, right? You know the mineral salts are everything mixed in the liquids. Because of that salts, you can see the acids, HCl acid. They will contain hydrochloride is there, HCl is there. So in that condition, the minerals whatever present in the liquids, they try to conduct. But here means the electrons will be the going so that current is moving. But here the ions will go. In case of liquid, what will be the free charges? That means what will be made current to move? That is ions. Please remember, in case of liquids, ions are responsible for a current. In case of solids, that is in case of metals, the free electrons will be the responsible for current. Clear, children? In case of liquids only, our main topic of this chapter, that is chemical effects of electric current. In liquids, we're going to understand. I hope this is clear. Okay. Electrical conductivity in solids. Some solids are good conductors of electricity. You know that very well. Okay, all metals like copper, steel, aluminum, iron, all these are good conductors. Which is the first good conductor? Gold. Because gold is very costliest metal, we cannot use it to make as a wires. That is why we'll go for the next one is silver. Silver is also costliest. Again, that's why copper is cheap compared to gold and silver. So we go for copper first. Okay. Compared to economically, copper is worth. And sometimes copper will go giving the green color shade. That means it will going to rust after some time. That is why we'll go for using the steel and aluminum wires as electrical wires. I hope this is clear, children. Good conductors of electricity. First gold, silver, copper, steel, iron, aluminum, like that. They are the good conductors of electricity in case of solids. Some solids also having poor conductors of electricity. Like if you take a wet wood, not a dry wood, it will be insulator. Wet wood or a plastic, rubber, glass, these are insulators. They are not a conductors, they are insulators of electric current. Clear, children? What are the conductors and insulators? Which will allow electric current to pass through them. They are called conductors. Which do not allow electric current to pass through them. They are called as insulators. So this you already learned regarding all this. So now try to understand, children, electrical conductivity in liquids. Okay, in case of liquids, how this electrical conduction will take place. See, I told already, in case of liquids, the free ions, okay, suppose imagine like a solution of HCl or NaOH or KMnO4, whatever liquids you're going to take. Okay, let us take HCl. When you pass electricity to this HCl, what happens? H plus ions and Cl minus ions. It will going to decompose. What you call in chemistry, no? Decomposition will happen. H plus ions separate and Cl minus ions separate. When they are going to decompose, no, this is what we call positive ions and negative ions. These ions are responsible for the movement. They will move and they will conduct electric current. See, some liquids are good conductors of electricity like tap water, salt water, hydrochloric acid, sodium hydroxide. All are the good conductors of electricity. Why? Because they contain acids, bases, salts, are good conductors of electricity actually. And here see they given a tap water. But if they give instead of tap water, distilled water, because distilled water what you in lab no very pure water does not contain any salts in it. That is why it is not a conductor. But you can take tap water, that will be the conductor. Okay, children, please try to understand that if they give distilled or pure water, it is not a conductor. Only tap water containing the minerals, so it is a conductor. Next, some liquids are poor conductors of electricity. See how some liquids are distilled water. I told you distilled water does not contain any salt, and sugar solution, kerosene, spray. Thus does not contain so much of ions. That is why they are poor conductors of electricity. So how going to test all these things is that by again using same method, we taken a cell and from cell to two wires, one positive end wire and negative end wire, both are connected to, one is connected to bulb and another is connected to negative terminal, and one this from this positive terminal, like this we connected. Now we can also know this and this are the two free ends. When these two free ends they put inside a liquid, if it is a liquid is conducting what up here to here, create a path. So liquid will going to, current will going to come like this, it will go like this, it will go like this, means it will create a complete path. So it will be, if it is a liquid is a conductor, it will create a path, so current will, bulb will glow. So if bulb is glowing means that the liquid, given liquid is a conductor. Right? If it is a brightly glowing or dimly glowing, based on that we can decide whether it's a good conductor or little average or poor conductors. and you can see your bulb is not glowing, means that the given liquid is a not a conductor. It is a not conductor, so it is a insulator or poor conductor we can call. And now see in the third solution, they're going to boil bulb glows. Okay, molten sodium chloride, NaCl. Okay, molten sodium chloride, they're going to boil. What happened? It will go, when you pass electricity using the cell, they're going to dissociate. Na plus and Cl minus ions going to spread. Okay, when they're going to split each other, the Cl minus, suppose imagine this is a positive terminal, this is a negative terminal. All Na plus ions, when they split, no, they will come and deposited on the negative terminal. All positive charges deposited on negative, because opposite polarities they are going to attract, and all Cl minus ions they will come and collected on the negative terminal. So like this we are going to separate the metals using this electrolysis process. Okay, we'll try to understand more about this. Right. Okay, what is electrolysis? Try to understand. This is a very key point of this lesson. What is electrolysis? What are the effects we are going to observe when you pass electricity to the some chemicals or some liquids? When you pass electricity, see using the power supply like batteries and all, because we are going to use the cells for solids because they have high conductivity but less resistivity. But you're going to see the liquids, they have very high resistivity. So normal cells and batteries is not sufficient. That is why we're going to use direct power supply, very high current, and we're going to convert them to DC, and we are using that one. Okay, so in this process, see, the two plates are taken. Okay, the two ends of are connected to two plates, positive and negative plate we connected, and with these two plates we dip it inside the liquid. This is a electrolyte, what we call. This is electrolyte. This electrolyte is a solution what we use for electrolysis process. When you connect like this and you switch on, the current will pass, right? When the current is moving or when the current is passed through the solution, what happen? Dissociation going to happen. Okay, splitting of ions going to take place. How we are going to know that? By seeing we cannot find, right? By how you are going to find? You can see, observe the small bubbles. You can observe your small bubbles, air bubbles. That air bubbles will come and depositing on these two ends. We can see observe the air bubbles. That shows that the one method is formation of bubbles at the electrodes. That is the chemical reaction is taking place. We can going to know by using that. And deposition of metals on the electrodes. You can observe, suppose this is a light silver color, again after some time this color will come to this. That is also one method we are going to find. And the change in color of the solution. Solution initially it is a blue color, after some time you can see it is becomes a green color. So all these three are the noting. We are going to note that whether the chemical reaction is happening or when a current is flowing, the reaction is taking place or not, we are going to find using this. Or else you have water boilers in your home, no? The immersion rods, water boiling. That immersion rod you put into the bucket of water and observe, keep on observe some time. After 10 minutes, you see the bubbles are simply coming up. That is shows that chemical reaction. Water is going to splitting, H2O. Okay, H2O water is going to splitting into H plus and O minus ions. That is why you can see oxygen bubbles are coming up. Okay, so here also the formation of gas bubbles and the deposition of metal on the electrodes, and change of the color of the solution. All this kind of thing we are going to observe, children. Okay, this process of passing electricity to the liquid and the decomposition of liquid into its ions, that is what we call electrolysis process. Okay, when you pass electric current through the conducting solution, it causes chemical reaction. That is what we call chemical effect of electric current. That means what is converting here? Electrical energy is converted into chemical energy, right? This is what process we call chemical effect of electric current. This is NCERT question they ask children. What are the changes will going to affect, or what are the effects of electric current may cause? One is formation of a gas bubbles here like this, and the deposition of the electrode, one metal on the another electrode, and the change of the color of the solution. So all these are the indications. Yeah, try to understand the next one. That is, when electric current is passed through the water, it is split up into hydrogen and oxygen. Okay, when you pass electric current into the water, what happens? It's split up into oxygen and hydrogen. This is what we call hydrolysis of water. Okay, so here we taken a water and we passing electricity. What happen? It will separate it, hydrogen one side and oxygen one side. It will go into deposit it. When electric current is passed to the water, oxygen gas bubbles are produced at the electrodes connected to the positive terminal, which is positive terminal here. This is a positive terminal. Okay, gas bubbles will going to deposit it in the positive terminal of the battery, and hydrogen gas bubbles are produced at the electrode connected to the negative terminal. Here negative terminal, this is a negative terminal. No? Here the hydrogen will come and here the oxygen will come. Are you understood why? Because H2O is going to deposit it into oxygen plus ions, oxygen minus and H plus. So this H plus ions will come and deposited at negative. This is the negative terminal, so positive ions will come here. This is a negative terminal, so this is a positive terminal, right? So all the negative charges will come and deposit. Negative means here oxygen, positive means hydrogen. I hope this is clear, children. What is electrolysis of water means? When you pass electricity to the water by using some battery, we passing here using the true electrode, electricity is passing to water. So here water going to split into oxygen plus and hydrogen plus and oxygen minus ion. This oxygen minus ions deposit on negative terminal, hydrogen ions is deposited in the positive terminal. How the deposition we can see by seeing the bubbles, we can observe from outside, we can observe the bubbles. Okay, this is what electrolysis of water. I hope this is clear, children. Yeah, advantages of electrolysis is the one thing is that electroplating. So what is this electroplating? By seeing figures so far you guess, I think. What is electroplating means? Suppose you have ornaments. Okay, you are the 1 gram gold jewelry, what you call. No? All this 1 gram gold jewelry is very less cost compared to normal gold. So why this is? Because it is not a gold, it is inside some metal is there, but outside one layer, no, outside one layer they're going to coat the gold. Okay, one thin layer of gold they're going to coat it. That means this is dipped in the gold solution and taken out. So this is what happened in case of 1 gram gold. So how this very thin layer they're going to take the brush and paint? It is not possible because metal is not in liquid state to paint like a paint. But here how they're going to paint this very thin layer, that is by using the method of electroplating. By passing electricity to the solution, we are going to get this very thin layer of a painting. So how it is, just try to understand. Very interesting actually. Why they do electroplating means, but by looking good at a synthetic look. That means to look good. We are putting powder. Why? Because we need to look good. That's why we need to put powder. Like that, the black color metal we're going to coat with the gold, it will be brighter. That's why we're going to use that. And in case of iron things, iron will be very dirty color. That is why we're going to coat with the steel. It will be so much shiny. And to avoid the rusting, okay, to avoid the rusting and to put preservatives and all, we're going to use that coating of aluminum or zinc coating, okay, tin coating of the cans. All these things we're going to use for food preservative purposes, for rusting, avoiding rusting, and for aesthetic look. All these are the advantages. So how to do this much important thing, that is electroplating, is the process of depositing a layer of a thin or any desired metal on another material by means of electricity. See here, we taken a copper strip and a metal spoon. This is a metallic spoon. In that copper coating we need to do. So how we need to do copper coating? We taken copper sulfate solution. This is split into copper plus and sulfate minus ions. All this copper plus ion, this is a positive and this is negative. All copper plus ions will be deposited on where? Deposited on the spoon. All the sulfate ions deposited on the copper strip. So like this, we're going to coat very thin layer, one layer of coating we're going to do. Similarly, aluminum spoons. Okay, silver spoons we want to make, silver we're going to take here, and here one steel spoon we taken with made up of iron. So after deposition, all we're going to come and deposit all aluminum deposited here, aluminum nitrate. And here also gold sulfate solution we taken. So all the gold, some the small changes, a gold rod, gold as an anode, it will act. Anode means what? Okay, it is connected to positive and anode. So all these positive ions will come and deposited here on the negative terminal, right? So that this metal now look like, after removing from the solution, look like a gold. Okay, that means gold layer is deposited on this. Clear, children, what is anode, cathode? Okay, anion, cation, everything try to understand. So for electroplating copper on an object is dipped in is acidified copper sulfate solution and concentrated to the connected to the negative terminal of the battery. A copper strip is dipped in the solution and the connected to the positive terminal of the battery when electric current is passed through the solution. Copper from the plate, copper strip is deposited on the object. Okay, you can see the figure, you can understand this clearly. Okay, I hope this is clear. Okay. So far we understood what is electroplating and how you are going to do and what is its applications. You'll see it have a lot of applications. Okay. So what are the first applications? See our key bunch, it is actually made up of iron. If it is be in iron state, what happen? It will be rust after a few days. So to avoid this rusting, we made the steel, and also to look aesthetic look also we made. See here in case of bearings of the cars and the car parts, and in case of machineries, in the taps and all in home to look good shining, and in the case of bikes and all the mirrors what we use, no, all the steel coating we made. No, the steel coating is made to avoid the rusting of the iron, and one thing is that to look good, they will be shiny silvery surface. No, so that we are going to use the steel coating by using coating by coating method. Okay, painting is used in industries of coating metals object with the thin layer desired with a desired whichever we want, that coating we can use. And chromium has a shiny appearance and it does not corrode easily. Corrode means rusting. Okay, chromium plating is done on an object like bicycle parts. This is a chromium plating actually. Okay, chromium parts, bicycle parts, car parts, taps, gases. Okay, wheels of the rims, etc. All this way you're going to use the chromium plating. Remember what is the coating? It is the chromium plating. They're going to use all this kind of things. Okay, next one, jewelry makers electroplated gold and silver. It is a less expensive metal. So to reduce the cost also they're going to use this one method. So gold on silver to reduce the coating, and iron, chromium on iron to aesthetic look and to avoid the rusting. And the tin cans are used in storing the food. You can see the tin cans, no? The cool drinks and all they stored, and pickles and all they stored in the tin cans to avoid what? To avoid the rusting. If it is rust and it is not chemical react with any other. If it is rusting, is dangerous to health, right? So to avoid the rusting thing, they're going to use the tin cans for preserve the food. It will be safer. We will use the tin cans instead of plastic and other things. And because the tin is less reactive than iron, so protects iron from the corrosion. So iron objects are coated with the zinc, no, to protect from the corrosion. We're going to use that. Okay, children, thank you all. We'll meet in the next class.